You're sitting at the table, speaking, but their eyes drift away. You crack a joke, but the laughter never comes. It's as if your voice is background noise, easily ignored, barely acknowledged. Women, friends, co-workers, they don't really listen. And even when they do, you sense it's out of courtesy, not genuine interest. Every man has been there, and the worst part, it feels unfair. You're respectful, patient, polite, you don't interrupt. You follow the rules. But here's the cold, hard truth. The world doesn't respect politeness. It respects presence. Not arrogance, not aggression, but undeniable, commanding presence. That's what today is about. You've been misled, taught that respect is something you earn solely through words and actions. But in reality, respect is claimed by those who draw attention effortlessly, not those who beg for it. Today, everything changes. By the end of this, you'll understand how to stop blending into the background and start owning the room. 1. The power stance. For years, men have been conditioned to shrink, to make themselves small, to avoid confrontation, to step aside and let others take up space. You've been told to be non-threatening, to be the nice guy who waits his turn, who never takes up too much room. And now you wonder why people don't notice you, why conversations continue as if you never walked in, why your presence goes unacknowledged. The truth? You've been trained to disappear, and it's killing your influence. Ask yourself, have you ever walked into a room hoping nobody would notice you? Hoping to blend into the background? Maybe you didn't feel tall enough, strong enough, important enough. So you shuffled in, kept your head down, your shoulders hunched, moving as if your goal was to take up as little space as possible. That stops now. Silence and invisibility don't protect you. They erase you. The world doesn't respect the man who hides, it respects the man who owns his space. That's why you need to adopt what I call the warrior's stance, a posture that exudes silent strength. Stand like you belong. Shoulders back, not stiff, but strong. Feet shoulder-width apart, firmly planted. When you take a step, do it deliberately, as if the ground itself acknowledges your presence. Keep your chin level, eyes straight ahead, never down. Because when you look down, you subconsciously signal submission. And people, whether they realize it or not, will treat you as such. Men who move with intention are seen. They don't rush, they don't fidget, and they don't apologize for existing. Women notice this immediately. Confidence is instinctively attractive. They don't even have to hear you speak to recognize it. Meanwhile, the man who rushes in, barely making a sound, nervous to be seen, he's forgotten before he even sits down. The next time you enter a room, stop at the doorway for 2 seconds. Breathe in, shoulders back. Walk in as if the space was waiting for you. Take your time. When you sit, don't shrink. Own your seat. Own your presence. This isn't arrogance, it's self-assurance, and the world responds to it. 2. The power of silence. Most men believe that the louder they are, the more they'll be respected. That's a lie. The one who speaks first, the one who fills every silence, is often the one who's ignored the most. Why? Because speaking out of nervousness signals insecurity. Powerful men don't rush to be heard. They understand that silence creates tension, and tension demands attention. When you hold back from speaking, you force others to lean in, to wonder what's on your mind. That curiosity alone gives you an edge. Next time you're in a conversation, Don't be the first to fill the silence. Hold back. Let them wonder. When you do speak, keep it short, sharp, and direct. No rambling. No over-explaining. Many men sabotage their own authority by talking too much, watering down their words with unnecessary justifications. Say what needs to be said, then stop. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. And control commands respect. 3. The dominant tone. Your voice alone can make or break the way people perceive you. Speak too softly, and you signal submission. Speak too loudly, and you seem desperate for validation. But a controlled, steady voice, that's power. The key isn't volume, it's weight. Every word should land with intention. Think of a river carving through stone, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. Powerful men never rush their words. They let them sit, let them resonate. When you're in a tense conversation, especially with a woman, control your breathing first. Short, panicked breaths create a weak, shaky voice. But steady breathing keeps your tone calm and composed. And here's a secret. Pauses are weapons. After making a bold statement, don't rush to explain. Let silence do the heavy lifting. Imagine you're setting a boundary. Instead of saying, "I'd really appreciate it if you didn't do that," say, "I don't tolerate that." Then pause. Let the weight of those words settle. That pause alone will communicate more power than any raised voice ever could. Women aren't just hearing your words. They're feeling the energy behind them. And when your tone is controlled, steady, and unapologetic, they have no choice but to listen. 4. The art of boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, you don't have respect. Period. Men without boundaries are treated like doormats, used when convenient, discarded when not. Boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about defining what you will and won't accept. But here's where most men fail. They set boundaries, but they don't enforce them. Saying, "I don't tolerate disrespect," means nothing if you cave the moment someone tests you. Respect doesn't come from what you declare, it comes from what you uphold. If someone crosses the line, you don't explain, you don't negotiate, you reinforce. If they keep pushing, you walk away. And walking away is the ultimate display of strength. It tells the world, I don't chase, I don't beg, I choose who gets access to me. This isn't just about relationships. It applies to your work, your friendships, and your entire life. Men who allow themselves to be disrespected aren't just mistreated by others. They're betraying themselves first. When you raise your standards, when you refuse to tolerate anything less than respect, the world takes notice. The shift begins now. The pain of being overlooked is real. The frustration of feeling invisible, unheard, dismissed, it's a weight that many men carry in silence. But today you've learned the truth. Respect isn't given to those who wait. It's claimed by those who command it. Not through arrogance, not through empty words, but through presence, silence, tone, and uncheckable boundaries. You don't need permission to be respected. You take it. If you're ready to make this shift, declare it now. Comment below, "I command respect," and from this moment forward, live by it.